to a very special 100th episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy From Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, FPL champion Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stibson.
FPL champion, 2 years running. No joke, I was going to order myself a crown, but I thought I was worried because we were recording the day after that if I ordered it, my hubris would dictate that it wasn't permissible to wear it. But I retained my status, so way to bury the lead as well. Good times, party vibes. Well, speaking of which, speaking of good times, party vibes, sorry, just can I just get this one in? Get the bloody beers in. Watford and bloody Bournemouth got relegated, lads.
Who had 20 seconds on the actual recording, the released recording, not the YouTube stream, for those two things getting mentioned? That's why I went straight in for FPL champion. I figured there was no way getting away from that. Like, you're just going to immediately bring it up, so I beat you to the punch there.
Mr. 100%, Mr. 100 episodes. The podcast, 100 episodes. Chuck, 100 episodes. Oscar and Ian, some episodes.
I mean, nearly not this episode. You.
The fates conspired against me.
Was it the fates or was it Chuck?
Admin. But it was... Never can anyone question my dedication to the title. Like, it hasn't been earned just through sheer fact of being here. Like, lest you forget, I recorded less than 24 hours after my child was born. And
says it like it's a good thing.
Today, I had to do a 70-mile round trip at 6:30 because I realised I left my laptop charger at work. So
I've done more than that for a cheeseburger, so I don't know what you're bragging about. Probably. Now, when you say 70 miles round trip, is that 35 each direction, or is that 71 and 70 the other?
I wonder what other definition of round trip you have.
Again, with the strangest caveat of asking, did you mean what you said you meant?
Yeah.
And I mean, I drive quite fast, but I don't do 70 miles in 45 minutes, mate.
Yeah, that would be an effort.
All right, well, if you are joining us for the first time at episode 100, welcome. We are always happy to have new members on board. If you are coming back, if you have been with us from day one, thank you so much. We really, really love you guys. We really, really appreciate it. It is a massive accomplishment for us to get to 100 episodes. I figured we would probably, go upside down at about episode 10 or so. But we just kept going along, and we're here. And we're going to start it off, as we always do, with rapid. No, we're not. Nope, end of the season. We are going to do Ian.
That wasn't even a joke you were meant to insult. You went for it. You chickened out, though. Oh.
Was that muscle memory?
Yeah. Just automatic pilot, 100%.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I brought the keyboard. I had no idea.
Oh, no. You'd have to get it in.
All right, I got you. And now, with our famous segment, Rapid Fire News. Our top story this evening, gentlemen. Bournemouth and Watford have been relegated!
Top bloody story! Get the beers in!
Jesus, I hope you didn't finish that first can already.
I was going to say, yeah. You sated. You full.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Chuck,
do I want what? Give me something, anything. I'll probably yes. Probably yes.
Chuck, do you want something particularly juicy here?
I want it as moist as it comes, baby.
Watford were relegated with our Burnley of the week on the last day of the season.
Yep. Oh, they Watforded themselves. That's what you get. Is Hayden Mullins, is he even in the job? Still, who knows? Was he in the job? He probably has been fired. Back to the under-23s. Oh, The saddest thing is that you don't get to see their tears on the last day. When they go around and they always zoom in on like a child that's like with his dad, just like, oh, Dad, it's not going to be that bad, is it? No, son, we're fucked.
The strangest Bournemouth accent I've ever heard.
I don't know what people from Bournemouth sound like. There's about 5,000 of them, so they can get rid as well. Happy days. Yeah, Watford and Bournemouth are relegated.
Not for want of Danny Welbeck doing a little Cruyff turn into the goal. He made a good effort on it.
He tried it. I mean, Arsenal did their best to do them a favour, like went 3-0 up and then just went, come on, guys.
Yeah, Aubameyang having himself a hell of a day, huh?
Yeah, I mean, only because he was given all the time in the world to sort himself out for it. So, yeah, I mean, that was when Watford were acting like they really wanted to get relegated. Then they realised, oh shit, we don't want to get relegated.
I think they've done that all season.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then they suddenly realised and decided to play football. But yeah, seems like the right result in the end, doesn't it? Just generally.
And Everton being completely anonymous as well to allow Bournemouth to win 3-1 because what the fuck is that team? And then bless them, little Villa. Oh, Villa, yeah. the little minnow that dared to dream. It had to be Jack Grealish. To score at the end. They go mental. They celebrate. Within 20 seconds, it had to be Jack Grealish. Massive deflection. Over Reina. Goal again.
I guess we should say that officially the 3 teams are Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth, and staying up.
Sorry, what? Say those last 2 again.
We had Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth are going down.
Get the bloody beers in!
Oh my god.
Fucking A. He's going to start telling us that his grandfather invented Twix again. Just give it a few minutes. And staying up by the scrap of their necks, the skin of their teeth, let's go with, were Aston Villa. Is that not an expression in England? Did I just sound really weird?
The skin of their teeth is the first thing you said. Definitely isn't.
Scrap of the neck.
Scrap of the... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Scruff of the neck.
You take them by the scruff of the neck, and they got through by the skin of their teeth.
Yep, there you go.
Idioms are tricky, don't worry about
Arsenal,
Yeah, idioms are.
Playing a major hand in the relegation race, allowing Villa to beat them on, when was that? Tuesday, 1-0. Even though Villa getting the worst of the XG there. And then Arsenal beating Watford. So 2 results this week that sent Watford down and kept Villa up that Arsenal had a hand in. Arsenal having a bigger hand in the relegation race than in the top 4 race. Can we just take a moment to laugh at that?
It's just nice to be involved, though, isn't it? It's nice to be involved.
Yeah, nice to be involved in some form of narrative. I feel like I should thank them. Thanks, Adam P.
Cheers, mate.
He won't be watching this, typically, but yay!
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Arsenal, David Luiz broke the record for penalties conceded in a season. He conceded 5 penalties this season. He had conceded 3 in his entire Chelsea career. And he had 5 for Arsenal this season. So shout out David Luiz helping the Chelsea cause long after he's gone.
Speaking of Watford and Bournemouth getting relegated, I don't have any more beers around me, sorry.
I was going to say.
And going to the Championship, the last day of the Premier League, we were messaging about it, and I think because the teams that were playing each other with something to play for were kind of playing for the same thing, it wasn't really that kind of exhilarating or exciting. It never really kicked off as a last day. There weren't really any weird results, and teams just kind of did what they had to, apart from Villa West Ham for the last 10 minutes. But in the Championship, the last day of the season was insane because Leeds were automatically up. You had West Brom, Brentford and Fulham going from 2nd to 4th, all within a point of each other. I think they were on 80, 81, 82, something like that. The teams they were playing, Brentford was playing Barnsley, who were playing for relegation. West Brom were playing, who did West Brom play? QPR, who didn't really have anything to play for. Leeds at the top were playing Charlton, who had to play for relegation. And Fulham, who were playing for promotion, they had Wigan, who, as we've mentioned before, had kind of the 12-point, point deduction hanging over their head for potential administration and the whole Filipino betting agency thing. And all 3 of the teams that were going for automatic promotion just started losing straight away. And every 5 minutes, it was mental and the whole thing changed. Topped off with, and I'm sure Mark Daffin and James Doncaster don't need reminding of this, Nottingham Forest were in 6th place, 3 points ahead of Swansea, who were 7th, and they were 5 goals ahead of them on goal difference. So they just had to have less than a 5-goal swing for to stay up. Yeah, there was a 6-goal swing there, and Nottingham Forest dropped out of the playoffs on the last day. Oh,
you might say they got robbed. Huh? Nottingham Forest robbed. Get it? Robin Hood.
I barely get it. Yeah.
It's there. So Barnsley escaped relegation. Wigan have now dropped down because they drew with Fulham in the end. And so even though they actually finished, I think it was 13th in the table, have ended up being 23rd. So they go down. Hull, remember Hull? Premier League team. Bang, League One with Peterborough.
Oof.
Not really a dig, but, it's probably going to come across like that. And I think it was something crazy, like the bottom 5 teams, when the season restarted, all 5 of them escaped relegation.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how mental the table was. And, shout out to... we got a W team back. It's 1 for 1, just for the convenience with Oscar.
Yeah, even worse now, there's 2 with West in the name. There's West Brom and West Ham, and I'm like, I can't with this.
Even more confusing is Slaven Bilic is back in the Prem, and he used to manage the other West team.
The quality of managers coming up is exciting.
Be interested to see Bielsa, yeah.
Yeah, if Bielsa stays, that'll be something, and... Bilic as well. So, and then we've got who's in the playoffs? Brentford, Swansea, Fulham. Who else? Cardiff, yeah. Not Neil Warnock's Cardiff. Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough escaped. He saved Middlesbrough, yeah.
He saved Middlesbrough. Good old Neil. Always good to have Colin Warlock in there. And Swansea beat Brentford yesterday, I believe, 1-0, after Brentford then went down to 10 men. So you don't want to be dropping into the playoff places, because traditionally that team doesn't do very well. It's usually the team that comes up into them. So Swansea in with a really good chance of coming up. And then it's Fulham and Cardiff. Like, we've seen enough of them. So,
I'd love to see Brentford in the top flight, though. Tiny little Brentford. Like, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I mean they've got a new stadium next year.
Oh, it's ugly. Ugly as fuck.
Is it ugly? I've not gone past
hideous. I can't remember where they used to play, but that was a really nice old ground. And now it's
Griffin Park.
It's like Griffin Park, that was it. And it used to be a really nice ground, but now it's like this modern version, but still not with many seats. Like at one point where the stand has like the waves and the curves, it drops down and there's a section where there's only about 4 rows of seats. It looks really weird and horrible. Yeah, plus I want to, a lot of their players are linked with Palace and I'd quite like to pick them clean. Thank you very much.
Well, you might get the chance.
One of the bigger stories here too is Leeds, right? Because Leeds haven't been up in the top flight in a very, very long time. That's interesting for Chelsea too. They're an old sort of rival. I've heard that I'm supposed to hate them. So I'm excited to have somebody to hate.
Most teams hate Leeds.
Dirty Leeds.
So it's been like forever since they were up, right? And they were historically a big team.
16 years or something? Something like that. We've talked about this numerous times before, but like when you come into football, that's how everything's set. I came into football with Leeds being Division 1 champions in 91 or 92, whichever one it was. And they're set in my head as a big club. So see them go down to League One, and then it'd be so long before they sort of come back up. It's great seeing back, and with Bielsa as well. I haven't watched... Have you guys watched any of the Amazon documentary? Because there's a Leeds one.
I got about 4 episodes in.
Did you?
Did it take me home? I got to the bit where Daniel James is sitting there waiting to sign for him. And then, who was he playing for before that? Can't remember who they bought him off of. But basically the other club just ghosted on them. So he's sitting there like at midnight in a puffer jacket, just waiting to sign, and the other team just ghosted and pulled out of the deal, and he just kind of had to go home after he'd done the fake contract signing picture, held up the shirt, done everything. Man. Embarrassing.
I love when that happens.
Oh yeah, it's great. Anyone for FPL, like when Leeds come up, do not get Patrick Bamford in your team. Do not.
Former Chelsea loney legend Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, do not get him in. And shout out to Alexander Mitrovic. Finally wins the Golden Boot, lads.
Hey, what? How did you not start with this? That's so much more exciting.
I'm sorry, it's just the page I was on. I scrolled down a bit and saw the Golden Boot race, and there we go.
We should mention someone in the Premier League won the Golden Boot, I guess. Right?
Someone. Brilliant.
Vardy. It was Vardy. He's old. He's the oldest one since the 40s.
Jamie Vardy, who won the conference Golden Boot for Fleetwood 8 years ago or something like that. And he's just won the Premier League Golden Boot. It's quite nice. Good for him. I like Jamie Vardy. This
is quite nice, is it? I mean, hopefully my feed isn't lagging too much, but did you see sort of pictures of Jamie Vardy with the Golden Boot? Because obviously Leicester have just dropped out of the Champions League places. They give him the Golden Boot immediately, and he's just got pictures of him with the Golden Boot, just like, It's like, he's dead happy with that, isn't he? Yeah, I scored 23 goals, but we're not getting European football. But yeah, no mind.
Well, they are. Just they might be playing
not the
FK
European
Karabakh.
football. Yeah, fine.
Unless someone...
Arsenal win the...
Is there permutations?
Yeah, of course there are. No, what? Who's in the Europa League? No, I don't know.
Chelsea. If Chelsea win the Champions League, then the spot, 5th place gets a spot.
Or Man City.
Or Man City. Chelsea are getting knocked out. It's a fucking waste of time that they're making us play the second half of the leg. Because we lost 3-1 to Bayern in the first leg. They're just making us go to Germany for no reason, but...
Are Man United in Europa?
Yes, they are.
And them as well. If they win Europa, they get a Champions League spot, which means it drops down for Leicester, Leeds. There's, permutations. Wolves are still playing. They had the anniversary of their season 4 days ago.
Yeah, they're the first club to play 2 games in the same season more than 365 days apart. Fucking amazing.
Insane. What's next on the running order? I'm bored with the Championship.
I mean, what have we gone through? We've gone through Championship. We've briefly touched on relegation. We've gone on...
Sorry, who got relegated?
Bournemouth and Watford, mate.
And Norwich. And Norwich. But we all knew that. They didn't cut the mustard.
God, very good, yeah, very good.
So top 4 now, right?
Yeah, let's do top 4. Come on, Oscar.
Yeah, congratulations, Oscar. Congratulations, Frank Lampard, on taking Chelsea from 3rd to 4th.
Wow, churlish.
Just wanted to get the dig in there.
Yeah. So shall I intro it properly now, and then we can actually record? All right, well, it's time to move on now. I think we can start with the 4th race, the 4th place race, the race for top 4, which saw Manchester United and Chelsea secure their spots on the last day of the season, as I said that they would. Leicester stumbling at the very end once again with a very, very bad performance against Manchester United, putting up only 0.7 on XG to Man United's 1.4. And that saw Leicester miss out. How are we feeling, gentlemen? Leicester were so far ahead of everyone. They were the only team that could potentially save the title race back around January or whatever. And now they didn't even finish top 4. How we doing?
That's a pretty big slide. I mean, I can't really comment since the team I support was 19th for form following Project Restart. So, yeah. But Leicester were crap. And the stat that goes round is that since their 9-0 defeat, I remember it's 9 now, thanks for reminding me of the 9th goal last week, 9-0 defeat of Southampton, Leicester earned 42 points and Southampton earned 44. So that kind of shows that they did just kind of drop off, and Southampton obviously kind of had a great season. But yeah, dropping down. And it's weird because for so long they were like potentially looking at being the only ones that could challenge Liverpool, and City weren't going to catch them. And then it was almost like once it happened, the slide just went really, really quickly. I mean, it's coupled with Man United learning how to attack again, Chelsea stringing together like the good results as well. But it's, it is what it is. Their dedication to just kind of restoring their place to where they should actually be in the table was admirable.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
This is their highest finish since they won it.
Ever. That's what's mad.
Yeah.
I think before that it was 13th was their highest.
I think 9th, but either way,
right,
mid-table. So it's a successful season, isn't it? It's just the problem is from where they were, that's all. And Brendan Rodgers is not going to be happy with that slide. Is he going to be able to... We've said Leicester's recruitment's good, but unless it's carrying on being good, they're going to have to get rid of the player. His Tielemans going to stick around. He might get a chance to go somewhere else.
I'm not particularly worried for Leicester. I think a big part of what happened to them, other than like Chuck said, kind of ending up where they're supposed to be because they're 6th unexpected, so getting 5th is like fine. But I think that the thing that they struggled with at the late in the season was the injuries, and especially James Maddison, who without James Maddison in the midfield, Vardy had like not as much service as he's used to and as much service as he really needs to be able to shine. And the club as a whole, like they had injuries to who else? Ricardo, right? Their starting fullback. Yeah. They had some really big injuries in the stretch, and I think that just fucked them.
Well, people worked out what to do against Vardy. If you are willing to push up, you've got to understand that he's going to run into the space that you leave. If you want to defend Vardy, you've got to drop deep and make that decision, you know. So people sort of work that out. Leicester do tend to be a bit of a one-trick pony in attack, don't they?
Less so now, I think.
Yeah?
I think the reason... I mean, if you look at a lot of Vardy's goals this year or how his goal involvement has been, because he's got, especially recently, he's had quite a lot of assists. So I think that's Leicester trying to change the game because obviously they won the league on Kante wins ball, pass to Mahrez, over the defence, Vardy goal. Like that's how they won the league, right? They got whatever it was 7-1-0 wins on the bounce down the stretch and just did it. So they have played a lot more intricate passing and those kind of things. You mentioned injuries. You know, Ricardo Pereira is easily one of the best fullbacks in the entire league. Maybe top 5, if not higher.
And certainly in terms of his creativity numbers, he's way up there.
Yeah, exactly. And also they lost, it was James Maddison they lost as well down the stretch, and he'd been kind of instrumental to them this season. You know, and when you get key injuries like that, you do kind of have to change the structure, and it's rocked. I don't fear for Leicester. I don't fear for Leicester really losing anyone.
No.
The amount we've spoken about their recruitment process, how they have the succession plan and the ideas. Like Harry Maguire had a phenomenal season for them, and they sold him for 80 million, and no one noticed the difference.
Yeah.
Because they had the replacement Söyüncü there, ready to go, bang, steps in.
And Söyüncü was amazing this season. He was really good.
Yeah. So all of those players are not obviously replaceable is the wrong word, but they kind of are. Like they've probably got some people that are there and they know exactly what they're going to do. So I don't really fear for them. We mentioned before about like the relative to where they were. You know, Leicester fans will be disappointed, but if you've given them 5th at the start of the season, that's insane. If you asked any Man United fan, would they be celebrating 3rd place behind Man City and Liverpool a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? They'd have probably punched you in the face. It's insane. They could be so happy about finishing 3rd.
So speaking of, let's not...
Hang on, but let me just interrupt here because I just want to take...
Let's all interrupt everyone.
I just want to take some comments from the live chat because we've got some interaction for once, so let's use it.
Live!
Sam Danby says...
And it's live! Sorry.
Sam Danby says, Oscar, say congratulations Liverpool. Just do that now.
Congratulations Liverpool on overperforming by 25 points to get a title. When you should have finished...
Congratulations, Liverpool. Asterisk.
8 points behind Man City on expectation. So, congrats, Liverpool.
Sam, you knew that wasn't going to go well, mate. Also, Emily, your good wife, would like to make sure you pronounce it Leicester from now on.
Correct. Okay, sorry. That's a good point.
Leicester.
And Jeff, this is more one for me and you, Chuck, but Jeff has said it's brilliant that the captions turn Leicester into Leicester as if we're talking about the jockey Leicester Piggott.
Oh, fantastic. Should I talk like I've got a cleft palate?
Yeah, it's not seeing it as the city.
Leicester?
Leicester.
All right, but let's not linger too much on Leicester. The other half of the top 4 race conversation is Chelsea and United. And looking forward to next year, I think, for those two teams, how are you guys, I'll leave it to you so I don't ramble for 19 minutes about Chelsea. How are you guys looking at those two teams coming out of this top 4 race and going into next season?
I struggle to understand why us making a comment right now will prevent 19 minutes of Chelsea chat. If I'd have known this 100 episodes ago, do you not think I would have... What is this magical formula? How does this work?
No. I'm going to let you say something and then I'll take my 90 minutes of talking.
Just kicking it into the long grass. That's all we're doing.
I just want to get you guys out of the way, and then
What's
I can go.
great here is we can really see, because of the viewer numbers now, we can really see the impact Oscar going on about Chelsea really has. And then we can wonder, everyone always drops off about 40% of the way.
It is also almost commute time in America for those people that are still going to work outside. So let's keep that in mind.
So that's why there's no Virginians.
I mean, it's
shout
4
out
o'clock
Virginians. We got an email from the Virginians. Woo!
Top 4, Chelsea, United, next year. How are you two feeling about them going into the future?
Fine, I'll say it. Right. Chelsea, first and foremost, if Chelsea don't get rid of keeper, but whether they just shut the door, change the locks, whatever, whether they drive him to the border, spin him round 3 times and push him into a bush, whether they pay someone else to take him,
that one.
Chelsea will not improve. Yes, they absolutely have to, because Chelsea have made improvements 100%. Timo Werner is there, tweeting pictures from him at the last game of the season.
Oof,
Hakim Ziyech
sexy.
is incredibly creative. I worry about the Chelsea Academy products and those kind of things that have happened in the last year. The Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the Tammy Abraham, the Callum Hudson-Odoi, the Mason Mount. I wonder about their well-being and where they're going to go from here, how they take it. It's a pivotal point. But if Chelsea do not replace that keeper and have some sort of confidence in the back, it does not matter what they do up front, because that spreads through the team. I would go so far as to say, if Chelsea replace their goalkeeper with a good, solid goalkeeper that the defence can have confidence in, that they do not need to strengthen their defence anywhere near as much as is thought. That is 100%, because I know the impact and the difference just having, it's on a different scale, but the difference between having Hennessy in goal and having Guaita in goal. Because once you make huge, high-profile mistakes and that gets in your head, it's huge. I'd say what is happening with Kepa is the same as what happened to Joe Hart, but without having all the trophies beforehand.
Correct.
It's once that confidence goes, that fucks you. And you know what? He should have subbed off for Willie fucking Caballero.
Well, so that's a good point, because on the last day, in the biggest game of the season, with the biggest game of the season, Caballero started in goal. And I wouldn't be surprised if we never see Kepa in a Chelsea jersey again. And there are much, much better journalists and smarter people than me saying that, so I'm confident in that take. So I think you're right. I don't think we're going to see Kepa again, because, how do you recover from getting dropped in a must-win game on the last day of the season? There's no way that he will ever feel like Frank has any confidence in him again. Nor should Frank, because he's really bad.
Garbage.
As far as the Academy products thing, Mason Mount was the first Chelsea player, I believe, ever, if not in forever and ever, to make 50 appearances in his debut season as an Academy product.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I'm not worried about him getting minutes next year. He fits in a lot of different places, so I think he's versatile. And I think Frank, is his ride or die. He stands Mason Mount. But Tammy, potentially next year, for sure, is looking at competition for minutes with Timo Werner. But I think that's insane, saying that they don't need a keeper. Or rather, that if they just get a keeper, that's enough. They are being linked with Oblak from Atletico Madrid, who is amazing.
Mate, if you get Oblak, that's the improvement that Liverpool made with Alisson.
Yeah, or De Gea when he was still at his best at United, getting them 20 extra points that year.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're telling me that difference is not greater than, Chelsea could buy a left back and a right back, great ones. And if they keep Kepa in goal, I just hate his name as well. I feel awkward every time, because I go keeper, Kepa, keep Kepa, don't keep Kepa, fucking sack the prick. You can't bleep that on YouTube, can you?
Unbelievable. Right, no more of them. No more.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. The problem, Ian, is that the more beer he has, the more come out. And now he's gonna... Chuck, I think you're exactly right. I think that if they don't replace Kepa, they'll be trash. But I don't necessarily think that replacing Kepa is enough. I would love to see a defender or two come in. But I think we've talked enough about Chelsea. Ian, I'll throw it to you now since Chuck got his turn. How are you feeling about Manchester United going into next season?
I think the worry is how tired they looked at the end. Solskjaer really didn't want to change his starting 11. Well, he couldn't afford to, I guess, because that's the other thing that Man United haven't got, which always traditionally they had, is squad depth, which they've not got any of that now. I can't think of many positions where they've got someone who you could genuinely go, that's almost like for like. You were talking about sort of Chelsea. You've got quite a lot of like for like people in positions where there's not a huge drop in quality to your B team.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think you can say that about Man United at all. Obviously, Bruno's electrified them and changed the way they play. And it looks like they might hold on to Pogba now as well. So maybe the future's brighter than it potentially was. But I still think they've got a lot to do, to be honest. I don't think it's a given that... Solskjaer's done well, but I don't think it's a given that they're going to be in the same position next season.
No, the impact of Fernandes is hugely notable by the fact he was, their man of the match, 5 out of the first 6 out of the first 7 games he played, something like that. However, with Chelsea getting business done early this year and where they are at, they are far ahead of United because, yes, Fernandes was an amazing purchase and it turns out the great person for that role, but it took about 2 years. Now, United, Chelsea, all these teams, they have a packed summer. Like, by the time the European stuff finishes, they've probably got, 2.5, 3 weeks until the Premier League starts. Now, the window goes on longer, but in this economy as well, where teams need money and they know clubs like Man United have got money, does that mean if they want their players, they're going to hold out for even longer, which is what has happened in the past? Because United want to play, want to go low and get people for cheap. But everyone knows, hey, you're pretty much one of the richest clubs in the world. We're going to charge you as much as we possibly can. It's why Harry Maguire, he was an £80 million defender, but he can't choose that price tag. That was Leicester going, well, we don't want him to go. We don't need to sell him for any money. So 80 million. And they negotiated for ages and ages, but they just went, no, we want 80 million.
Right.
And so United paid it in the end because that's what happens. So I would worry for them next season. If there is genuinely a cogent 4-year plan, maybe 5-year plan, and they are going to take their time, because they have, Mason Greenwood's incredible, and Solskjaer says that he is one of the best natural finishers he's ever seen and the best finisher at the club.
He's an amazing natural finisher. You've got to absolutely got to agree with that. The speed at which, we've said it before, but the speed at which he makes decisions before defenders have already seen he's got the ball, it's quite something. Exactly. His sharpness of mind is what is most exciting about him.
His soccer brain is years older than his body, and when his body catches up, and I see that a bit with Tammy Abraham as well. They both kind of still look like almost the way puppies are kind of clumsy because they haven't fully grown into their bodies yet.
Yeah.
Like Tammy looks like a baby giraffe that just learned how to walk. And you see that with a lot of the English youngsters right now. All the teenagers at Arsenal, at United, at Chelsea, like they have the footballing brains of people who, if they can put the pieces together, will be elite to the level that English players haven't been since like the 90s, I think. It's potentially an exciting time to be English for you guys, I'm just saying.
It's coming home. Coming
home. World Cup 2032 coming home.
Speaking of generational English talents, Jesse Lingard, 98th minute goal.
Oh, hey, your boy, that's right.
Oh, I hate the guy. I hate him so much. I hate him. I love that he cost that stupid idiot a load of money, the guy that bet on Jesse Lingard not to get a goal or assist for the whole season.
Because I was absolutely with you on slating that guy who, so if anyone didn't see this, someone put, it was literally like a £3 bet on, wasn't it?
£3 on 66 to 1, yeah. Lingard not to score.
Not to score or assist all season. And you were slated him quite rightly because it's like, one, if you're going to put that bet on, you put a decent amount on so you're actually going to win something proper. Two, if you didn't lay the bet, he's an idiot. But I will give him some credit because not only did Paddy Power say they'll pay out on it, and they paid out on the bet because they felt sorry for him, he then donated it to Black Lives Matter.
Hey!
So you've got I know you didn't know that, Chuck, but you've got to give him props for that. That's some good stuff.
I'll give him props. I'm still not liking Jesse Lingard. I will not concede that.
If Lingard doesn't score that goal, this guy never gets to have that ridiculous bet almost barely pay out in the 98th minute. Which means that it never gets the publicity, which means that he never donates that money to Black Lives Matter. He puts that shit in his pocket because no one ever knows about it. So really what happened was Jesse Lingard made a massive donation. Or some size donation, unclear.
I'm sure he can expect his doctorate from the University of Manchester in the fucking post. That's the same as feeding the kids, isn't it, Oscar?
It sure is. All right, so what's next on the rundown?
Well, who finished second? That's next, isn't it? Top four. Like, let's go upwards because we've got to give props.
I meant the race for top four. We can do the whole top four if you want, but we talked about City and Liverpool a fucking ton.
I think we ought to mention the team that should have won and the team that did win. I think it's an end of season special.
Crystal Palace.
Actually,
should have won.
This lends itself naturally to the Burnley of the Year conversation, so I think we could probably just put it in there.
So we're going to put the live jingle in there.
So who's gonna sing the Hovis?
It's almost like this is live.
Well, I figured you guys would because it's your.
Well, you're spoiling it, Oscar, by talking over
spoiling
it.
it.
Okay.
Oscar,
Sorry.
can you just do the music in the background, please?
I don't, my phone is recording.
Fine, forget it.
Ian, let me throw it
Forget
to you.
it. They're better than they ought to be.
Burnley of the year.
Excellent.
Production.
Excellent work. All right, well, as you can tell from the jingle, it is time to give out the first ever Burnley of the Year
He still
award.
pauses as if the jingle's coming in.
No, I just paused for dramatic effect. I'm a big dramatic person.
Muscle memory says a lot. It's weird that we just started going into our normal aside, and then it was just like, oh wait, there's people watching this.
Yeah. This is all the bits that Ian cuts, guys.
To be fair, this is way faster than normal.
Yeah,
because
we
we're
are
like
rattling.
50% of the way through the running order.
Well, it's because there's no rapid fire news, so things go faster when there's no rapid fire.
Oh, preaching to the choir, buddy.
Okay. All right, well, as you can tell from that jingle, it is time to hand out our first ever Burnley of the Year award. That is not, by the way, in case you are wondering, with a caveat ready to go. I know my wife might be listening to the live stream, so she might have this question, among other people. That is not an award for the game
It's
that was
Spider-Man left-footed.
Burnleying. Spider-Man is not left-footed. This is not an award for the worst single Burnleying, but rather the most Burnley team that captures the essence of what it is to be a Burnley. I will throw to you guys three nominees, and if you can't decide between the two of you, I will be the deciding vote.
So this isn't stat facts. We're not doing this on stat facts.
Yes. I'm about to tell you what the stat facts are. It's fully
All right,
stat facts.
so we're going to go with feeling, and then you're going to tell us we're wrong.
Yes, okay, so let me tell you the three nominees. The first nominee for Burnley of the Year 2019-2020 is the team that finished the furthest away from their expected position in the table, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur, 49.26 on expected points, finishing 59 points, so 10 full points above expectation, so that's kind of against them, 10 points above expectation, and they should have been 13th, and they finished 6th.
That's Jose Mourinho. Yay! Getting his players to not play like a bunch of stupid bleep.
Thank you.
Nominee number 2, Newcastle United, 31.9 on XG. Actual points, 44, so finishing a full 12 points above expectation. I bring them up because they were the worst team in the league on XG. Should have been relegated by a country mile, finished in 13th. So getting away with one right there.
Can I just say, I've just shared this YouTube link on Facebook, and I'm very glad that you just bleeped your own C word because my mother-in-law's in the chat.
There you go.
So if you hadn't self-bleeped there, we might have been in serious trouble.
Apologies to Ian's mother-in-law for the vile things that we will inevitably say. All right. Our third nominee for Burnley of the Year is the one, the only, you can't get away from it. You know what I'm about to say. That's right. It's Liverpool Football Club, finishing a full 25 points above their expectation.
Is that a whole Norwich above expectation?
You could fit a Norwich in there.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That's a full Norwich or 2 derbies in old money.
Oh.
How many shillings was it to a derby? I can never remember.
I think it was 3. I don't know.
That's amazing.
Half a Sunderland. Liverpool 25. You won the league. Oh, they did. I mean, it's Liverpool, isn't it? It's Liverpool. Liverpool were the Burnley of the year. No one wants it. They defied all expectations. They played. They got efficient, effective football. They realised that doing this glamorous play and running up scores, trying to score 5, then conceding 7, obviously, you know what I mean, that it just wasn't really a good way to win the league. So they just, bought defenders. To be fair, they won the league with Adrian playing a load of games. So that's quite good. But, yeah, I'm going Liverpool. Liverpool's my Burnley of the year.
All right, Ian, where are you going with this? How are you feeling?
My gut feel. I mean, obviously it's Liverpool. We know it's Liverpool. We know you're going to say it's Liverpool, and the stats probably say it's Liverpool. But Maybe not. Okay.
Do we?
But
Do we?
It's going to
my
be a
gut
fourth
feeling...
one. It's going to be a fourth one. He hasn't
No,
mentioned.
no.
And it's
I
going
wouldn't
to
do
be.
that.
And it's going to be Palace.
Palace was almost in there because they were also really, really fucking bad and finished higher than they should have.
But I would say Newcastle. I think we're forgetting how down we all were on Newcastle at the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are you talking about? Alan St. Maximin.
Well, apart from one player, yeah. But we were very much down on Steve Bruce and how it's going to be, and how terrible they're going to play, and that's largely true. But they finished. What was their finishing? 14th, 13th, something like that.
13th.
That feels like a Burnley, and it feels like
13th.
it feels like a Burnley, and we were all saying how bad they were going to be. You've already said their XG is lowest in the league. My gut feeling is Newcastle.
And the winner is Newcastle Football Club.
Yes!
Mr. Stimson, you are exactly
Get
right.
in.
That is the
Very
spirit
good.
of a Burnley.
Congratulations, Tottenham, on not winning a shit award as well.
It doesn't get more Burnley than finishing mid-table when you were the worst team in the fucking league. They should be gone to the championship. I'm considering renaming it the Newcastle of the Week next year. Who knows? We'll see. There, no one will be as Burnley was for like 4
Let's
years
see.
in a row there. But
Well, although I suppose especially if Sean Dyche does leave Burnley, that means Burnley are no longer a Burnley.
Is he the essence of Burnley?
he is the living, breathing heart
He's
of Burnley.
like proper, like they love him up there. They love him so
With
much.
good reason.
Yeah, to be fair. Especially, he took over from Eddie Howe. So, win. Yeah, that happened.
I'll hand it off to you guys because I don't know what's next in the rundown, and it's not my job is done here.
Can I say something that will piss off a load of Liverpool fans?
Yes, please.
Not that they're going to be listening now, but I will put it to you, gentlemen, that Liverpool will be the least memorable champions that there's ever been.
That
No,
can't.
not even a little bit. I will not entertain this.
What's
No.
been the most... No.
They're the champions after 30 years during the coronavirus-interrupted season. Everyone is going to remember this. There's no fucking way that anyone doesn't remember this.
Coronavirus takes over. Bang. Liverpool, right, they've won the league after 30 years. Well, they probably should have. They were dominant way before that for ages. They've had a ton of chances. They've just done fuck all. Blackburn was incredible. They'll be remembered about that. Leicester became a verb. That's how good it is, right? Arsenal, invincibles. That's impressive. Liverpool this season? They didn't lose a home game. Well, they did draw one, which meant that Sunderland still has that record. So Arsenal's more impressive. Chelsea under Mourinho were just an incredibly strong defensive team and held points records, all this kind of stuff, and still have the record for least goals conceded in a season. Oscar? Question mark.
That's right. I think it was 12.
15?
12, I think.
12. 1 goal in every 3 games conceded. Man City, dominant. Several managers over recent times, points records, those kind of things. And Manchester United, the reason they are the biggest club in the world is because they dominated English football for so long, and that's what made the league. Whereas Liverpool, nah.
Okay. None of what you said is wrong. And I think that's the conversation about
Which
them
means it's
being
right.
one of the greatest teams of all time.
Which means it's right.
Which,
And
despite
also,
the fact that they got 99...
The fact they keep posing with 3 or 4 trophies, you didn't win these trophies in the same season. You didn't. You can't say you won a double or a triple or treble or anything. All those trophies were last season. Doesn't matter. It happened in the end of it. It's the end. The Club World Cup was last year. Champions League last year. Whatever. You won the Premier League. You got binned out of the League Cup, binned out of the FA Cup, binned out of the Champions League.
This is a remarkable diatribe against the champions.
I'm trying to defend them, for the record.
I know you're trying. I know. So you don't subscribe to Graham Souness's point of view that he's got
Probably
a
not.
little chubby for them and that they're going to go on.
Of course he does.
They're going to go on. Did you see him with Virgil van Dijk? It was almost embarrassing, fanboying after when he came over for his interview.
Yeah, I heard
you're
about
just,
this.
Oh, you're just something to watch. You just, it was just
Brilliant.
Souness.
Lots of stuff is something to watch.
Come on, mate. You've won 5 league titles.
Neighbours is something to watch.
True. But so you don't subscribe to that at all. That this might be legacy building. This might be a decade of.
No, fuck off. No, this is the end of this.
The fact that it's the build up was so long and the age of the club and the fact that we're talking about stuff like Mane going what's going to happen with Salah, Firmino becoming a defensive striker. What does that mean? I think they need players. They need
this is the capstone to an amazing era for this Liverpool squad, winning the Champions League and then, we joked a lot at the end of last season, but the third most points of all time last year, and then 99 points this year, which I think is like fourth or fifth most. It's up there. And like no one actually cares about XG other than like me and the 5 people on Twitter who talk about it all the time. People will look at the 99 points. And I think with everything else, they'll be remembered. But I definitely am with Chuck on... I would like slightly amend it and say that they will not be in any conversations for one of the best Premier League teams of all time. I don't even honestly think they cracked the top 5 despite the 99 points.
I think they were genuinely a more impressive team last year.
Yeah, definitely. They were.
It was a workmanlike performance to get across the line, and they deserve it through merit of the fact that they didn't fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what... we joked about the stumble for, Chelsea, Man United. Like, Man United celebrating massively the fact they finished third. Like, that's, yes, it's a big turnaround, but that's still, they weren't close to that. Man City just biffed it, like, with several losses. They never really strung together a long period of wins or a dominant force where they just get that world-beating momentum going. Like, they just didn't have that. Tottenham, Arsenal, like more anonymous than they've ever been for years. Like, those are problems for it. A club like Wolves is incredibly impressive, and that's kind of there. But it was just that Liverpool just kind of did what they needed to do and just kind of went. And it was almost like in a way, it was like a team that had won it loads of times before and just kind of knew what they had to do to win in that way. So in that way, yes, it does have elements of being impressive. But I think last year they were better in terms of the way they played. And the numbers kind of show that, when you overperform that wildly.
Yeah, and we were rewatching, or I guess, I realized we had never finished the Man City documentary. So we were watching it like 2 days ago or a day ago, the last 2 episodes. And there was one part where Pep had on the screen projected like, yes, we secured the title, but there's still like a few games to play. And these are all the things that we can still play for. And it was like most goals, most points, most home, whatever, all those fucking records that one team set. Which, by the way, in that PowerPoint, all of the names except one were Chelsea, because we used to have all the records until that fucking Man City team. But anyway, this Liverpool team will never, ever come close to being talked about the way that City team was, other than by Liverpool fans. Because if you put up... They were on pace and on track for all of those records at some point, and they just fucking fucked off. They were like, we're gonna win, so we're good. And like that was evidenced on the last day of the season. They threw out like Mane didn't start, Salah didn't start. It was FPL
Firmino
rotation
didn't
nightmare.
start.
Yeah, and could you ever see a Pep squad doing that? Like, Pep rotates, but it's because he has squad depth. He doesn't run the fucking scrubs out there on the last day of the season when they could be going for more glory.
Yeah, exactly. They've still got Champions League to play for, and they still wanted, the stat went out that they were 2 goals off of 100. Sterling was going for the Golden Boot. KDB was going for the assist record. They were still going for things, like, clearly from that team selection.
Yeah, this City team scoring 100 goals is like second most ever, third most ever. I remember when Chelsea in 2010 broke it to 103. They were the first team to break 100. And there's very, very, very few teams that have broken 100 goals. And this fucking City team breaking 100 goals to come in second place is like such a travesty. It's so sad.
Do you both think that next season the positions get flipped?
No.
Man City, no?
I think next season Liverpool finish third or fourth.
Oh, do you think it's that steep?
They are on the wrong side of the age curve, and that shit goes fast for those types of players.
Wow.
Would you say, though, because I understand what you're saying, but that when you say it's like a third place, but all the teams are far more bunched together?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's going to be really close. I think, the conversation we were having about Chelsea and United, right? I think Chelsea are going to buy a keeper. I think they're probably going to invest a little bit in the defense, and so that's going to make Chelsea a genuine title contender next year. I have extremely reminiscent vibes of the 2014 summer where we brought in Fabregas and Costa, and those were like the last 2 missing pieces, and we fucking ran riot on the league that next year. I think City are still going to be just as good because they have a lot of constantly turning over, like David Silva's leaving, but they got Bernardo Silva ready to go. They're going to
Phil
sign some
Foden.
people. Phil Foden. Yeah, they have a lot. They constantly have turnover. I think if United can go out and get depth, they will be in the title conversation also. They have the best defense or one of the best defenses. We don't talk about that enough, mostly because Chuck is just like, I'm not gonna admit that I shoot that down every time I bring it up. But United have an excellent defense. Like one of the best defenses.
He's great.
Yeah,
They got one great defender.
And Liverpool are on the way down. They actually, you'll love this. I just closed the tab. But I'll open it up
Liverpool are
again.
on the way down.
Let me tell you, they finished less than a point above Chelsea on expectation.
I will just say to their defence, they can't finish up from here.
No, Yaz was wrong.
Yeah.
Here's the expected points for the season, Ian, just to help ease your mind into the idea that Liverpool might finish third or fourth. Liverpool had 74.2, Chelsea had 73.5, less than a point ahead. And United were at 71, so like less than 3 points behind that.
Okay.
It was right there this year, and that's without Chelsea having Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech.
Third and fourth just seems outside for me. Second I can put up with. I just don't see it.
I'd really like, we went on about the Championship before and how Watford and Bournemouth are relegated to it. There's another mention.
You got another bit?
About how there was so much... They're all downstairs in the fridge.
Sorry, mate.
There was narrative at both ends, and fortuitous happenstance meant that tops were playing bottoms, and it was just chaos and great and fun. I just love... how many years now has the last day of the season just been shit?
2012 was the last really dramatic one that I can remember.
Yeah, it's cool that there's stuff going, there's games going on at the same time so you can kind of follow, but when there's no real narrative or excitement or whatever, I really want something for once.
Well, I think next year it's going to be a tight race for those four teams, honestly.
I hope so. I mean, it'll be fun, but Pep's going to identify exactly what's wrong with Man City and fix it.
Oh, they'll have already had that.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had 6 of those meetings already.
And I think Chelsea are and Man United are a longer work in progress. That's all I think. I think Chelsea and Man United might be 2 or 3 years away from being elite right up there. Whereas Man City and Liverpool, I think, will be fighting it out for a couple of years.
I don't know, man. Don't sleep on Timo Werner. He's going to be the best striker in the league, and having that elite of a player makes a huge difference.
I don't think that's... I knew that was instantly what you were going to jump at the second Ian said it, but I think it just means in terms of, there's potential there, because of how Frank is, he's still not established in the way he is, and there isn't enough... To speak to your kind of the things that get you going, there isn't enough data to kind of build as to what kind of manager he is, especially over a longer period with a team. So there's a good chance next year that, we say about Chelsea winning, but Chelsea could win the league next year with overperforming. They could overperform more, and that could end up being a kind of lucky thing. Same, if United do maybe get some things, it's kind of close because of, like you said, the expected. But then from there, I would see Chelsea improving, let's say, and get closer to their expected for then the second season from now.
Right.
Should things carry on and they progress and they invest and do those things, the same as United. But like you said, potentially then Liverpool could drop down from there.
Sorry, in the chat, Jeff Pedder says Timo Werner is not going to be the best striker in the league. Who do we think Jeff
That's because
is?
Harry Kane is.
Harry Kane scored on the last day, so there's that.
Kane's back.
We gave that award last week, didn't we?
Speaking of Harry Kane on the last day, that's a perfect transition. Let's go to FPL.
So we do.
Because I am retired officially. We'll get to the other
I need
stuff.
the toilet. I'll see you in a minute, yeah? I need toilet. Just go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you just go to the toilet? Oh, he's not going to leave, is he? No,
Yeah.
because he's an absolute bottle job going to the toilet, just like he's a bottle job in FPL.
Chuck, we'll give you your moment in a sec. I'm just going to say I'm officially retired. Thanks for the memories, FPL. If it wasn't for that shit, I wouldn't have found you two and this podcast.
Sorry
Did
about
take
that.
a points hit as promised to bring in Kane on the last day of the season. I went KDB and Jesus to Sterling and Kane, so it was a points hit for worse points.
Oh, dear.
A classic Oscar
And I'm
pointless
done.
points hit.
And I'm done. That's it.
A Puente pointless points hit.
Ian,
Yes.
would you like to say anything nice about Chuck? Do you want to say congratulations to Chuck the way I had to say congratulations to Liverpool?
I absolutely will, though it sticks in my incredibly large throat. Congratulations, Chuck.
Thank
2
you.
wins over me is something to be proud of.
To be fair, especially it is Just, and like, the only reason I get so excited about it is just because, like, I was so shit at FPL for so long, and you are good. So it's like, you've just had 2 fallow years that have definitely intersected with us starting a podcast. Like, I am not this good at FPL. It's just, it turns out that not overthinking your team is helpful.
Not for me, apparently, because all the time I've spent editing this podcast, I could have been thinking about my FPL team.
No, but that would have made you even worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still not getting it, Chuck. You're going to have to start an FPL podcast.
Just the full rundown of scores, just for us. Like, Oscar, you retire on 2073. So I've always aimed for an average of 50 points a week.
Okay.
That's what I aimed for last season, and what I wanted to improve on that this year.
That is such a Palace target, Jesus.
Mate, you average 50 points a week in FPL. Like, if you're going to compare yourself to all the fucking massive FPL nerds on Twitter, like, people that take it far, far too seriously and start abusing people that do other people favours and like, I actually have some genuine team news and I'm going to share it. And then when I don't have it, I'm going to take a load of abuse. I'm talking about those pricks, those absolute fucking dickheads. As to like them doing that, like they can fucking suck it. But to enjoy your team, Oscar takes all the points hits and it's great. But it really helps because Oscar finishes on 2073, which is an average of some points per week. Ian Stimpson, 3rd out of 4, 2,247 points.
Not bad.
Solid.
The podcast community team, the first year we did this, and it was pretty fun, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was just getting going really good, and then Project Restart happened.
Project Oscar happened, yeah.
Hey, we had a fantastic season plus. Thanks to my excellent, actually paying attention to and using as spreadsheets FPL tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that the only reason you're stopping playing from FPL is because you figured out, in your head, a way that means you'll win it. So you're just like, that wouldn't be fun, so I'm not going to bother.
It's the ultimate caveat. That
is just the absolute peak Oscar. That it's just like, I'm just going to put this absolute caveat in here, asterisk, that like, if I wanted to win this, I would. But
yeah, pretty much. I don't care about where I finish. I just wanted to come up with like an algorithm and a metric. And then I did, and I'm like, okay, FPL done. Save, take the game out of the cartridge disc out of the console, put the next thing in. I'm done with FPL. Like,
yeah. Actually, shout out before I do move on to actually the pod. Shout out Ian without a free hit on the last game of the season. 83 points. You took a
minus 4.
You?
Yeah, I took in that early Liverpool team news that Trent and Salah weren't playing, and I took one of what will go down in FPL history as one of the greatest hits ever. I got rid of Trent and Salah to get in Son and Digne. So that went super well. I'd have probably been better just I don't know who I'd have got off the bench if I'd have just left it. Foden's points and Justin probably. But yeah, not a great hit, but whatever. Ultimately, though, the captain choice was what ended on a good run. I cracked the top 150k. That's where all the cool kids want to be. Well known as that standard of FPL, top 150k. Not good. I need to recover next season. I mean, I've gone from last season was a 600k. This season is 150k.
That's up.
Well, that is up, but you know, I've finished in top 10k. This is foolish. This is kids.
You finished in top 10k when there were only 9,000 players.
Fuck off! That was only a few years ago.
But yes, so the podcast team finished. We did a free hit. Ian.
Yeah, I took care of that one. Yeah,
Ian did that free hit. Yeah, 57 points. That was good. And then pod finished 2254, and then, ladies and gentlemen, with a free hit that didn't go free shit, 72 points, finishing on 2265, which is 53 points ahead of my best ever season. So I'm very happy with myself. It's Chuck.
I think you've got to go down as the Chipmaster this season, definitely.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They call me the Chipmunk because I, of course, bench boosted the first week in Project Restart because if you could have, and Oscar fought this so much because I had like a backup keeper and those kind of things. And I just thought, if you have the opportunity to wildcard and bench boost in the same week, like, just bin everything off. So I went for it, and I can't remember what I got in it. It was like 142.
It was insanely high
in that week, and we in like the always cheating league, 141. Sorry, that in the always cheating league, which is like incredibly competitive. Like they're such good guys, and the amount of people that follow them is phenomenal. And I, in their league, was the top scorer that week, and that was just kind of that propelled me to kind of sort my season out, really. Without that, if I'd have had, let's say, a bench boost, you normally want to look for, like 100 points?
Yeah, break 100, you're laughing, yeah.
Take off 40, and FPL Twitter wins, and I'm third, But I won FPL Twitter, so thanks, guys. Cheers. And I won Season Plus by 2 points.
Yes.
Peace.
That last week really did. We were tied going into the last week of the Season Plus, but anyway, where did things finish off in the Patreon League? Right? We have a Miles Offside Patreon League.
We did. Well, I won that as well.
Okay, congratulations. Who got second?
Well, the top three was... And this is why I'm confused, because, like, Ian plays seriously and, like, knows stuff. But there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more stuff than us. And we were both in the top three with the pod. So, but Mark Daffin propping up the league. He was fighting with you at the bottom there, Oscar, for quite a while.
Man loves a hit. Man loves a hit.
So many points hits.
Oh, yeah? A man after my own spirit, huh?
Yeah.
And just had the worst luck in the world. Like, oh, that reminds me, I had 3 weeks where if you combined my bench, I got 80 points, I think, or something like that, like 78. Like, that was good at
points to spare.
Points to spare. So many points to spare. In 8th place out of 9 is Oscar Puente. Then above him, Nate Whittam. Then Big Sam Van Dam Samby. Shout out. He's watching. There he is. Then the GP, Jeff Pedder. Andy Penpraise above. And then Ian, the Miles Offside podcast team, and me. So,
well done, mate.
Yay. Thanks for a fantastic season as well. It's been great, the interaction with everyone and getting votes on polls. In true Miles Offside podcast team fashion.
Sorry, Mark's just coming on the chat. 116 points in hits.
Jesus. Wait, can I look that up? I wonder what mine is.
Wait, 1 sec. So if I put in 116 points of points hits, that puts him 6th. Above Sam Danby, above Nate Whittam, above Oscar P.
Oh, I now knight you, sir. Hits a lot.
His anaconda don't want none unless he got buns, hun.
Oh, good work, Mark. Good work.
Absolutely. Oscar, you found your points hits yet? I think you probably
No,
on
how
about
do you do that? I'm going to my transfer history?
game week history, and then you kind of have to add them up as you go.
Oh, I can't do that.
So, for God's sake, you
do
work with numbers.
do maths for a living.
Work with numbers. Maths for a living. That's literally what you do. All right, then. Well, I tell you what, while you look at that, shall we talk about the one that they all want? The one that's been going all season. The one that, due to various administration constraints, i.e.
laziness,
lethargy, he doesn't have any energy to adapt to spreadsheet, but he does have energy for jingles. It's time for the final of the Predictor League! Leave our predictions where people gave us their predictions at the start of the season to see where all the Premier League teams would finish from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Watford, Bournemouth, 20, and they're going down. It's time for the Predictor League! Yeah!
good stuff. Right.
Predictor League. The song describes it all, but
In case
you guys
you didn't
gave us
get it.
your predictions at the start of the year. Where teams to finish? Who thought where they would go? Did anyone predict Watford and Bournemouth going down? I did, but I didn't put it in the spreadsheet. And we have, Ian updated it for the last time. Typical admin. I don't have the whole league here.
Oh,
though,
did I not
Ian.
send you the whole league?
No, but I think, unfortunately, in last place is Johnny Worthington.
Oh, Johnny.
Norwich fan.
Oh, yeah.
Norwich-
Forgot about that.
Norwich
yeah.
and Liverpool fan. which is a bit weird.
Bookend.
Okay. Above him is... I'm trying to figure out from who is missing someone.
No one cares.
There's about everyone. Everyone's shit. Like, we were all crap this year. Last year it was like 20, 22. The winning score is 60. But Momo FPL Nicola, Jack Saunders, Ian Stimpson, and Chuck Bailey, 70 points. We are down there in joint 12th.
And fewer points is good because you get points when you are way off. If you're 10 places off, you get 10 points.
Exactly.
Johnny Worthington's just in the chat, just gone, damn.
Oh, you knew it was coming. It was inevitable. Carmen and Johnny OG on 68 points. Then above that we have Oscar's wife Emily and Dan Parkinson on 66 points. Then Joe Bloom and the one, the only Peterborough legend, Carabao Cup victor, the one, the only Finley Stimson.
Finley will be very happy you beat me. Yeah.
6 point. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, we were laughing last year because Oscar was last and got beaten by a child.
And yet I'm not rubbing it in when you two guys lose to a 9-year-old.
Yeah, so Joe Bloom and Finley, and then in true mop fashion, there's a 4-way tie for second and one winner. Yeah, so admin.
Who's the winner?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's worst to first. And even though last year he was awful and going for... Oh, Adam P. Adam P's in 17th. I've just realised. And Dave Matteo... Oh, no, Dave Matteo's there. Never mind. Adam P. Adam P, who at one point this season was 100 points away from getting the league right.
He broke the 100 mark.
He did. Oscar was going for it last year, but Oscar wins on 60. So 2 years in a row, one of us... has won the league. My game, never won it. So Ian won it last year, and what that means is that we obviously don't take the prize.
We don't? Damn, there's a Christmas sweater I want to buy.
Yeah, well, it's July. So, Oscar, you don't get anything, but we had a 4-way tie, and like we said, the winner is settled. The tiebreaker is who entered first.
Ooh.
Oh,
so
wow.
in 5th place is Lynn, who I believe is Ian's mate.
She works at Sky Sports, yeah.
Yeah. She also entered way past the deadline, I remember, because I was annoyed about that.
Illegal entry.
Yep. So, technically, delete. Above that, 4th place, the wonder from down under, Mr. Dave Matteo.
Oh, well played, Dave. Well played. Good game.
In 3rd place... Oh, these are all nice people, so it's such a shame. In 3rd place is Pad Full.
Oh, Pad, yeah, lovely bloke.
I don't really have any more words to say apart from it's the big man Van Dam Sam Danby.
There you go, mate.
Winning on 62 points.
Bravo.
Winning himself a £51 gift card for a club, of his
shop
choice.
of whichever
brackets,
Norwegian team he supports.
Mulder. That's a team. And
well played, Sam.
Yeah. That's it. Well done. We'll be doing that for another season, probably. Admin. I was worried it would get too big last year after we did it. Less entrance.
Amazing.
We should say to Sam, gratulated.
Oh, God.
He knows what it means. No one else needs to.
Does he? We'll soon see. He's in the chat.
Yeah, did I say that well enough that he knows what word it was? I'm very curious.
Well, hang on. He said his team this year is... it's got a weird strike through the O. Bodo.
Oh, that means you don't say it. It means the letter's cancelled.
Oh, you're just... I nearly believed you and went Bodo.
It's actually pronounced stop sign.
Bidet.
Yeah, the stop sign.
Glimped. I'm not going to try. He's a Liverpool fan. We all know what's happening.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay. Well then, that was the Predictor League.
Yeah.
Speaking of pre-season predictions...
Indeed. So let's get going on the real quiz because FPL was just a sideshow.
Hang on a minute. So far, I'm the only one who's retained my title.
Yeah, I won this last year, so I need to retain this.
Predictions? No, I won predictions.
No,
yeah, Chuck won predictions.
I won predictions. I got the goals like spot on. That's what won me.
Seems like a rewrite of history.
You won Predictor League. You won Predictor League.
Yeah, I might.
Oscar won. Oh.
Yeah, let's consult VAR.
What did Oscar win?
Fantrax.
Yeah, we only did that this year.
that Gaffer Tapes draft league that slowly transitioned into our draft league this year.
So many straws you're clutching at.
Something.
So anyway, we sent off some predictions to Dave Matteo, some predictions for the season, and so did some of our listeners as well. Got involved, which was really good. So I'll pick out some notable ones. I am reading these for the first time because my wife collated these and did the points based on what Dave Matteo said. So we've got points based on the predictions we made, and then I'll just pick out some notable ones from our listeners. So what
were the categories?
The first category, I'll go through them category by category. So the first
Suspense.
one was who would be the Golden Boot winner. Now, out of everyone who predicted, only one person said Vardy, and that was Dave Stateo himself.
Ooh.
He nailed Vardy. Everyone else picked people who were there or thereabouts. There were no crazy ones, but the three of us, Chuck, you went for Sterling.
Oh. Did I? Why?
And me, I don't know, mate. And me and Oscar went for Salah. So the way we've scored that is that you get the amount of points based on the amount of goals your person scored. So Chuck, that puts you on 20. Oscar and me, 19.
Oh, yes. Come on, retain that title, baby.
Okay, so the next thing, total number of cards in the Premier League.
I have no idea where this number should be. Like, if you told me to guess right now, I could say 200 or I could say 878, and either one seems equally likely to me. I have no idea what the number is.
Who did that? Was it Johnny Worthington last year that said, 200, and then we realised that meant that it was, less than one card a game?
Yeah. So
he sees the good in people.
Exactly. Yeah, he really does. Yeah.
Shout out Johnny Worthington. He's watching as well. This
He
is
is,
what's
yeah.
weird.
He is. So the total amount of cards this season was 1,329.
Fucking A.
Last year I put 1,300. I remember that.
This year you put 1,350.
Wow. Very
Suck
close.
my dick.
That is very close.
21 away.
I'll take that.
That gives you 17 points on the trademarked Dave Matteo scoring system.
Oh, what did Oscar do this? What? I'm 21 away, so I get 17 points.
Don't ask me.
What?
Now, me and Oscar guessed within a card of each other. Oscar went for 1,299 and I went for 1,300. So that puts us in the same range as you, Chuck. So we both got 17 points for that as well.
Naturally, because in the same range and when you've got the same different points that you guessed, you would get the same score.
Chill out, mate. Adam P thought it'd be a crazy year for cards. He had 1,683.
Well, we knew Arsenal signed David Luiz.
True.
Fair play. Base it on the knowledge you've got.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Carmen, bless her, very trusting, 935.
I wonder if the season had gotten cut off at the season plus, if Carmen would be spot on. I wonder how many cards got given out post lockdown.
Did we not have to predict? Did we not put in there was going to be a pandemic stop? Was that not one of the predictions?
Well, let's see if one of the, because there was a crazy prediction category. Let's see if anyone predicted a fucking global shutdown.
Oh dear. There'll be some serious questions asked.
Yeah,
there will be. Yeah, absolutely. The next thing was the total number of goals.
Okay.
Now, the total number of goals this year was slightly down on last year. It was 1,034. Sorry, 1,034. Okay. Now, let's go for notable. Let's have a look. Notable predictions.
Johnny Worthington, 12.
No, Johnny wasn't that far away. 1,172 wasn't too far away.
Werther's is good. He's good at stuff.
But Adam P was a good 300 out. 1,341. I mean, Adam, there's not still 24 teams in the league, mate. I don't know, with your cards and your goals, you were...
Wasn't last year a record for the number of goals scored, or one of the highest in the Premier League?
Yeah, it was only slightly down on last year, to be honest, because there were some big goal-scoring fixtures, weren't there?
City at the end do 5-0, 5-0, 7-6, fuck.
So between us three, reminder, it was 1,034 goals.
1,034.
Okay. So the furthest away was Oscar with 1,099.
Wow, that's not that bad.
We're in 65.
7 points for you.
Naturally, 65 equals 7.
Next nearest. So it was 1,034, and I went for 1,040.
Wow.
So I was
Whoa.
6 goals off.
And you were second.
Yeah, 18 points.
Fucking A, Chuck. God damn it. We're never going to
How
hear
is
the
a
end of this.
deduction?
With 1 goal out, 1,035. Unbelievable. Barely missed out on the bonus points, but he gets 19 points.
Shit.
I mean,
What were the bonus
Unbelievable.
points for getting spot on? It must have been like, surely you get like triple.
you would have got 5 bonus. You would have got 5 bonus points if you'd have gone 1 goal below.
Oh,
Anyway,
may as well
so-
not bothered.
now we get to. We asked everyone and ourselves to predict the 3 teams that would get relegated.
Ooh, I'm so curious to hear this.
no. Because I put the
Now-
predictor league ones.
What's good about this is that across the board of everyone who predicted, no one got more than 1 right. Like everyone got 1 or none at all right.
And that shows in the predictor league because everyone apart from Oscar put Sheffield United getting relegated, and I'm almost certain that's because Oscar filled it out and then realised there was 1 team left. And then
Yes.
just put Sheffield United there.
I don't remember that, but that sounds right. Yeah. I know. I always throw a cheeky, like, relegation team doing well prediction in.
So all of our listeners picked who predicted got Norwich right, but they all got other teams wrong. There was Johnny OG said Palace. Sorry, Chuck.
Wow. Next year.
Carmen said Brighton. A lot of people said Sheffield. Dave Stateo, Newcastle, Norwich and Villa. But coming to us 3, Chuck,
Yeah.
the 3 you nominated for relegation was Newcastle, Southampton and Sheffield United.
0.
0 points
Wait,
there.
that isn't even what I put in the predictor league. I think I just hedged my
Brilliant.
bets. I had Norwich and Villa, I think.
Oscar, you had going down Southampton, Newcastle and Villa.
Oof.
I had Burnley, Norwich and Sheffield United. So for getting 1 team right there, I get 2 points, a measly 2 points. Next prediction. The first manager to get sacked.
Please tell me we all said Watford. Please tell me we
No.
all said Watford.
No, I think I put Eddie Howe and instantly regretted it after the first
You
game
did
of the
not
season.
put Eddie Howe.
Oh.
You did not. Let's go with who got things wrong first. Let's have a look. So anyone who said Steve Bruce got things wrong, that was Adam P. Oh, sorry, no, he said Roy Hodgson actually. Adam P. Sorry.
Yes, fair.
Johnny OG also said Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I
Newcastle
get it.
was
Johnny OG hates Palace.
clearly.
So do I. I've checked out.
Johnny Worthington said Steve Bruce. Carmen said Frank Lampard.
Oh,
No,
that's a
no
dig.
confidence at all. That is a dig. Come on. Don't be swearing on the YouTube. There's no need for that. Chuck,
Hi.
you said Dean Smith.
Oh, yeah, that's what I went for. I went Villa. Because
You
they
did.
spent loads of money. Now I remember. Yeah.
Oscar, you put your balls on the block and went Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh. All right.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
I was really hoping Oscar would have just written the Watford manager because he just doesn't know who it is. And then brackets second, the other Watford manager.
There were 2 people who rightly predicted the Watford manager.
It's Ian.
Javi Gracia, Dave Stateo, and my good self predicted that Javi Gracia would be one of many Watford managers to get sacked
As many as 4.
in this
Three.
season.
Sorry.
So that's a 5 points to me. The next category was the biggest dickin. Who would get the biggest dickin in the Premier League this year? Can any of you remember what you said?
100% I put Man City Norwich.
100% you did.
I also probably put Man City, but I would have put Man City Newcastle if I had to guess.
You did not. You put. You went with Club Allegiance. You went Chelsea Villa.
Okay.
Oh, what? You're going to pull out now that you said Leicester Southampton?
Literally no one with these predictions had Leicester or Southampton as either side of a dickin. No one got the 9-0. Some notable choices. Johnny Worthington also went Man City Norwich. He went 7-0. That match finished 5-0. Johnny
Well, there
OG
was the
went
3-2 though, wasn't it? It was 3-2 when Norwich won.
I'm just talking. Everyone went with the Man City home fixture. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So you went, Chuck, 7-2, and like I say, the actual result was 5-0. So you got the margin right.
Oh.
So that gets you 2 points because you got a 5-goal margin. Oscar, you went Chelsea versus Villa 8-0.
That is a historical pick because we've done that to them twice, I believe. So just overly excited.
Nice.
Yeah, the actual result for that one was 2-1.
Was it 2-1 in Chelsea's favour or against? I genuinely don't know.
In Chelsea's favour.
Okay, good. All right, at least there's that.
Yeah. I went for Liverpool-Norwich, which was the opening game of the season, I think, and I triple captained Salah. The actual result was 4-1. I went for Liverpool 5, Norwich 0.
That's not far off, actually.
Not far off, but no points. The only one who gets points for that is, according to Dave's system, is Chuck, who gets 2 points for that. So, before we get to the wild predictions, let's just go with the scores as they are now.
You don't have to say mine. I know I'm in last. It's fine.
Yes, you are in last by quite a way because your goals really let you down. So you're on 43 points, Oscar. Chuck, you're on 58 points. I am on 61, so I'm 3
This
ahead
is
of you.
bullshit. I got 1 goal away.
Hang on.
Yeah, that's insane. Chuck, you should win.
I should win.
Hang on,
This
all
happened
right,
last
simmer
year.
down.
This happened last year.
Yeah, you should win. I'm gonna veto whatever ends up happening at the end of this and give it to Chuck. Just that.
Jesus, we haven't finished yet. Right. And what? I'm getting no points for saying the Watford manager gets sacked first. I mean, I know it's fucking obvious, but none of you went for it.
That was
None
just
of you
a smart,
went for it.
That was just a smart numbers game.
Yeah.
And the second
Yeah,
I typed
funny
Dean
that.
Smith and sent it, I was just like, oh, that's dumb. But this is from the guy who last year we did the Predictor League and you went, oh, you know what? This doesn't require thought. I'm just going to go on a betting website.
And I won.
I just used XG and I won.
Amazing.
Chuck, you better come up with a system for next year.
Right, okay. So anyway, but there is still, because ultimately this last category can be scored however we want. So, I mean, if we want to apply 20 points to it, Oscar can still win. So this can be scored however we want. This was weirdest thing, crazy prediction. I'll go, let's see. Let's pick out some of the listener ones first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Johnny Worthington suggested that something will go wrong in the VAR control room. Maybe a fire breaks out, or you see a prostitute crawling out from under the desk.
Those are the same things. What?
Johnny, as a community, we prefer the term sex worker. So can you please just meet what you're saying there?
They forgot to turn it on one day.
They did forget. Well, and this needs to be brought up actually because that earned Villa a point.
Yeah, against Sheffield United.
I mean,
wow,
that earned
controversy.
Villa a point. So
there were people on Twitter going about what was it, like Bournemouth and Watford should sue and blah blah, like fuck them off. See you later.
Do you not think there's any legal case in that respect? Because
I was absolutely livid at the time. Absolutely livid.
You were, I remember.
Until now, it means that Watford and Bournemouth are relegated, and I'm okay with it.
All turn around on the issue.
I'm nothing if not fickle.
Speaking of VAR, I just want to throw a stat out there that's amusing that I didn't have anywhere that it fit, so I'll just put it here. Manchester United broke the record for penalties in a single season.
That
I
does
believe
not
they
surprise
had
me.
14 penalties, 15 penalties this season, which is not a coincidence with VAR coming in. We did say that the penalties were going to go up, so it is nice to see the penalties record having
Not for
been
Palace. I think Palace had the record before that. We had like 12 last year, and everyone was like, oh, Milivojevic, FPL, and we ended up with what, like 3?
Okay, let's continue with these weird predictions. So, and this is weird.
Okay.
Carmen. A naked man will enter the field when Pogba is about to shoot a penalty. The man will run faster than Pogba and score the penalty. VAR will then invalidate it. On his chest will be a tattoo with Pep Guardiola's face on it, and Pep and him will marry 2 weeks later.
4 points.
I mean, there's some fanfic going on there. Adam P. I don't know about this one. A manager will weep in his post-match interview.
That might have happened.
I can't remember anyone. Though.
I'm going to assume that
I
it
don't
did.
remember.
Dave Mateo says, son breaks his contract to fight in the Second Korean War.
Okay, well, he did go to military service, so
He did,
I'm going to give that like 10
halfway
points.
There.
And won a shooting medal, so I'm going to go...
Yeah, 10 points
no,
on
I'm not
that.
going as high... No, it's not that high.
Points?
I was for 7 points.
Well, I'm not giving Dave points anyway, but yeah, fine.
10 points.
7 points.
He did the work of putting this whole system together. Give him 10 points. There's a 3-point bonus
fine.
for being Dave.
9 points.
Fine, I'll compromise on
we come
that.
to our... Can we please have some order? Right, we come to our predictions. Now, I'm going to go with what I think is probably turned out to be the most mundane one. Oscar, you just predicted that Sheffield United... Football would happen, yeah. Sheffield United would beat City. Now, they did not. Both times, home and away, they lost.
Yeah.
But Sheffield United turned out to play very well. So I feel like you deserve some credit.
And I put them high up my predictor league, for the record.
Hold on. Is this the last category?
This is the last category.
How many points is Oscar behind me?
He is 15 points behind
Okay,
you.
Oscar gets 14 points for that.
Can I make it 13? Can it be 13?
Fine,
Yeah.
13 points.
Okay, good.
As long as I... Wait. We can't get minus, right?
No, I don't think so.
Remains to be seen. We'll make a judgment call at the time, if the time comes.
Yeah, we'll make. Yeah. I went for Frank Lampard and Roman Abramovich will be seen doing an open mouth kiss.
Speaking of fanfic.
Yeah.
Quite, yeah.
I don't... Did anyone see that? Was that on Chelsea Twitter?
Is Roman even in the country? I still don't think he's allowed back in England.
No one's allowed in the country. Sorry, I didn't predict the global pandemic when I was talking about manager chairman love. I'm sorry about
his
that.
work visa situation also.
Yeah, Abramovich got, not deported, but he couldn't be here, right?
Yeah, they revoked his working visa for some reason.
His working visa. Like he's in a field picking berries. Yeah.
He was probably on, a student visa or something and just got away with it.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming I'm getting no points for that.
No. They did get along well. Frank didn't get
Yeah,
fired.
exactly. I feel like the relationship's good.
You can't, hang on. No.
What?
3 points, Ian. Give yourself 3 points.
This
3
isn't me going
points.
3
score-wise.
points, yes. 1, 2, 3.
You saying, shut your face.
It's written down, man. You're outnumbered 2-1 here. You got
There's
3
no-
points.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This isn't A, not a democracy. B, if it is, I get 60% of the vote. We've always said this. Always.
No one's agreed to that but you. So no.
Yeah, but I have 3/5 of the vote. So it's done.
Right. Okay, well, look, we'll see how this pans out.
So Ian,
God.
3 points for yourself, Frank.
If I didn't put global pandemic born from bats takes over the world and...
Well, if you did, like you say, there's some serious questions to answer.
Yeah.
So, now, I think we've got an issue here because... Chuck, your prediction is correct.
Oh.
But I'm not sure it's that weird. We'll see. So,
Right.
this is your prediction in full. Newcastle actually aren't that bad, don't get relegated, and Steve Bruce keeps his job.
Okay, no, that's not correct at all. First of all, Newcastle were that bad. They were the worst team.
Well, were they?
They were the worst team.
1 second.
Burnley of the year.
Because he's in with a chance here. How many people predicted Steve Bruce would get relegated? Would lose his job, sorry. Would be the first manager to be fired.
Only one, Johnny
Okay.
Worthington.
How many people, when they predicted teams that would be relegated, put Newcastle in there?
Okay, out of 8 people who submitted predictions. Not sure this supports you, mate.
Yeah.
2.
Chuck, you're
Okay,
1 for
2.
3 there. They were the worst. Yes, they didn't get relegated.
But
Correct.
they weren't the worst. 13th.
They were the worst. We know this. We're not that type of podcast. We recognize that they were the worst team.
If Oscar gets 13 points for Sheffield United beating Man City...
Well, I'm not sure. Did we agree on 13? And that was largely because he couldn't catch anyone. What we got to decide is whether your correct prediction is worth more than 3 points.
No, it's not, because it's not a correct prediction. I will not concede that point.
Hang on. I will not concede that point. The previous one you gave 3 points to was Frank Lampard and Roman Abramovich will share an open mouth kiss.
Yeah.
We will see that happen.
Oh, well, if I'm getting 3 points, you actually... Right, lovely. If I'm getting 3 points, you actually need to get 6.
All right, I'll give you both 3 points. Chuck, your prediction is wrong, but technically they didn't get relegated, so fine.
I'm accepting none of this.
All right, he doesn't want his 3 points. He wants 0 points.
Right, hang on 1 second, because I'm going to the predictor league here. Right, so we had some entrants. I put Newcastle relegated. Oscar put Newcastle relegated. Ian put Newcastle in 17th. So that's not Newcastle doing well, but that is Newcastle not getting relegated. Adam P, Newcastle relegated. Sam Danby, Newcastle relegated. Pad Full, Newcastle relegated. Carmen put... she got Newcastle right. We won't talk about that. Emily, Newcastle 20th.
Because she is smart and they were the worst team.
Johnny Worthington, relegated. Dave Matteo, relegated. FPL Nicola, relegated. Momo FPL, relegated. Dan Parkinson, relegated.
Chuck, they were the worst team. They were the worst team.
Relegated.
I'm nothing but, if I'm not a hugely magnanimous guy...
12 points.
I'm just a huge guy. And I think it would be ridiculous to give us both the same points when my thing didn't happen.
Fine, okay,
it might have
let's
happened
give Chuck
behind
5
closed doors.
points.
We don't know. We don't know if it
tie.
happened, but I think it would be churlish. I think to be honest, and Oscar, before we went into this as well, you were saying that he deserved more points for the goals guess, which was one goal off.
That's true. Chuck, 42 points.
When
Write it down. That's it. It's official. 42 points. We found
when you are guessing goals in the range of 1,000 and you get it one off.
Yeah, 42 points.
I don't think I can't claim the victory there. So, Chuck, I think you win the predictions. If what you're saying is about historical history of this game, then you are the 2-time FPL and 2-time prediction champion of this podcast.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
I'd like to thank everyone.
Speaking of thanking people, that's a transition to the next part.
It is. I think we're going to close it out now by thanking all of our Patreons who genuinely, as we've said before on the main podcast, this ridiculously, this costs money to produce. So the fact that people are willing to chip in a couple of quid a month, sometimes when I forget to press the button that says don't charge them when we have said we won't charge them.
I don't think that counts as chipping in.
Does it not?
No. More
stealing
out.
Is that stealing?
Stealing. Robin.
Cool.
Right. Sam Danby, Johnny Worthington, John O.G., James Doncaster, Carmen, Mark Daffin, Mark Howes, producer, Nate Whittam, Jeff Pedder,
Andy Penn.
Andy Penpraise, the guy from Norway, Simon.
God love him. Chipped in, never interacted with us.
No.
I mean, fair enough. I don't want to talk to us either, but great. I mean, just give us money.
Yeah. Dave Matteo, Raphael Briand. I think that's everyone.
James Doncaster, if we didn't do that one.
I did James Doncaster. But anyway, yeah, thanks to all of you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for helping us get to 100 episodes in 2 years, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible, considering we talked about this for about 4 years. And then doing it now.
True, yeah.
And now, episode 100, who knows? Let's make promises. All the episodes from now on will be live streamed. I make no guarantees. Yeah, I thought it would make us, rein us in. It didn't, because Watford and Bournemouth got relegated. No. Cheers to fucking that.
Cheers to us, actually. 100 fucking episodes. And cheers to anyone watching on the stream. We love you guys.
Anyone still there, watch it on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, notifications, ding. I don't even know if it's there. And
next season, it starts September the 12th, doesn't it? So we will be back probably Wednesday, September the 9th, I think.
Well, we always do 2 or 3 part previews. We do an FPL preview and then part 1 and part 2.
We'll be back in September.
Yeah,
exactly. We're going to take August off, but we will be back in September for at least 1 or 2 preview podcasts.
Although,
but we are going to...
Sorry, finish it.
But we are going to take the month off. And we'll see you on the other side, I guess.
Yeah, we'll suspend the Patreon payments for August. They'll be back in September. We might drop you a few pieces here and there, so please get in touch. We play Rocket League. That's what it's really about now.
We play
It's
Rocket
just
League.
time off, because if we don't put 2 hours aside to record this hot garbage and Ian doesn't spend 12 hours editing it, we can play loads more Rocket League, guys.
Exactly.
So
Chuck it
let's
out.
just do that. Let's
Knock
bin it
it
off.
out.
100 episodes. Mr. 100%. 100 episodes. Cancel. Andy Penpraise, he's talking about becoming a Patreon at the $30 level to help me buy someone a load of socks. I love you all. Oscar, thank you very, very much for everything. Enjoy your bloody summer. Cheers.
It has been an absolute delight recording with you guys. Thank you.
Thanks to Ian. You don't even have to edit this one because we've put it out live, so that's fine. Just click send.
Top and tail and chuck it out.
Top and tail, no bleeps, don't need the things. Burnley of the year, job done. And thanks once again to all of you listening out there in viewer and listener land. Take the very best of care, be safe out there, and bye-bye.
Miles Offside is a Nate Whittam production.